looking at me and loud voice.
Okay.
Very loud.
Is it so you're not going to use the microphone? ما بدك تستعمل المايك يعني.
ولا استعمل هيك.
Oh. Oh ماشي. طيب ما.
There's too much.
Okay. يلا. Um,
About childhood. Okay, now.
Personally, I think that childhood is one of the most important periods in any individual's life. It's the time when we have our most formative experiences, the experiences that later shape us as people and have very far-reaching effects on the personality that we end up as, that we project as adults, and on our way of looking at the world and experiencing the world. I looked at the camera, so we might have to do that again. Hey, most.
No, it's good. You can look at the
Okay,
camera.
all right. Okay,
Okay.
I don't mind, as you like. Okay. Do you want us to do it again?
Any thought about childhood?
As far as I'm concerned, childhood is one of the most important periods in any individual's life. It's the time when we have some of our most formative experiences, the experiences which go on to shape us as people and which have profound and far-reaching effects on the person we end up becoming and on our way of looking at and experiencing the world, as well as on our way of interacting with other people.
Why don't father work? Why do they send their children to the world?
I think this is a complicated question, and in many cases, it's not so much necessarily that the father doesn't work. It's often that one or both parents are working, but because of circumstances of abject poverty, it's impossible for them to provide for their families on just that salary, no matter how long the hours are that they're working, and how demanding the job may be. There may be some cases of parents exploiting their children, but I think it's much more commonly a case of very wide social problems which end up forcing people to send their children to work from an early age.
Where is no father present? Who should take the responsibility of both?
Again, I think this is a difficult question, but in general, I would say, even beyond the question of child labour, that states and to some extent charitable organisations have an obligation, a duty to their citizens to make sure that their basic needs are met, and so with regard to these circumstances of abject poverty that people are living in, I think this represents a real failure by states and by organisations to provide for their citizens, and especially some of the most vulnerable of their citizens, children.
Would you like to add anything?
No.
The same answer.